So the judgment on the match between Libya and Nigeria is out. You can look at the screen, you see the judgment. But before then, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to what CAF said. That Libyan Federation have lost the match and that Libya will pay $50,000 in the next 60 days to CAF. The next part of the judgment, they say Nigeria has been awarded 3 points and 3 goals, which means the Super Eagles in the AFCON qualifiers, Morocco 2025, they now have 10 points. The closest rival is Benin with 6 points. What happened? Why did CAF come in? So there was a match to be played between Nigeria and Libya for AFCON qualifiers, Morocco 2025. The first leg was played in Nigeria. Nigeria beat Libya 1-0 in Uyo. There were noise everywhere by Libyans because they thought they could win the match. They played very well, really. They played very well, but they lost the game. Now, when Nigeria was to play the next match 4 days later in Libya, they set out to move from here while they were mid-air. It was supposed to land in Benghazi, but was now diverted to an airport that the pilot said has been abandoned. Now, this pilot, when I was hearing the ordeal of the pilot, he said the airport had no light on its runway. But because he had worked in that airport before, he was able to land. These players landed in that airport. They stayed in that airport for almost 24 hours without internet. They had no water. They had no food. They were abandoned in that airport. And the airport was also an abandoned airport. There was nobody to attend to them. No communication with people back home. No communication with the Nigerian authorities. No communication with their families and club. So when they eventually were released from the hostage, I'll call it hostage, when they were released from that hostage, they decided to call off the match. They left because they were tired, they were exhausted, they were maltreated, and it was barely 24 hours to the game. So they left back to Abuja. So they first landed in Kano, and then they went to Abuja and dispersed to their various clubs. Now, why did CAF come in? CAF came in because these kind of things have been happening. They have been happening to clubs. They've been happening to nations. In Africa, football that is supposed to be a game that people will play and enjoy. Football that unites nations. Football that brings love. Football that brings smiles on the faces of people. That is how the Libyan people wanted to turn it into something else. And it's just the tip of the iceberg because it has been happening to clubs from Nigeria who have gone to Libya to play. It has been happening to nations who have visited other nations to play football. Now, CAF has issued this strike so that it will serve as deterrent to whoever want to try, whoever want to attempt this. And of course, it is victory for Nigeria. It is victory for football. It is victory for every one of us. And shout out to CAF for taking this decision, this hard decision on Libya to be a deterrent to other nations who may want to try. And for those of you analysts, football analysts in Nigeria who were blaming the Nigerian government for not treating Libya right, Libya never reported ill treatment to anybody. They never reported ill treatment to CAF. They never reported ill treatment to FIFA. They came to Nigeria, played their game, and left. But when this whole thing saga came out, the Nigerian football analysts who wanted to chase clout were posting videos blaming the Nigerian government that they received that treatment as a payback from Libya because Libya was not treated fairly. Come on. There was no such incident in Nigeria, and Libya had to do this to players. Remember, Lookman was on that flight, the potential African player of the year. Boniface was on that flight, the Bundesliga winner. We had plenty of people on that flight. Our captain, Trusekong. So this must stop. This should be a deterrent to whoever wants to turn football into something that it is not. Shout out to CAF and victory for Nigeria. Justice at last.